As Shannon Lagasse struggled with anorexia, bulimia, binge eating, fluctuating weight, and perfectionism, traditional approaches didn't help her. It wasn't until she found holistic and alternative healing that she was able to break through to love her body and herself. Today, Shannon teaches women who are struggling to lose weight how to love their body, ditch the diet, and lose the weight. Through her revolutionary approach to weight loss, women experience phenomenal changes, not just in the body, but in the mind and spirit. You can find out more about Shannon and her work at breakthroughtobodylove.com. Shannon, welcome to Out of the Fog.
Thanks, Karen. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for inviting me on the show.
Oh, you're very welcome. I love talking to you because I think a lot of times when we start to talk about issues like body size and body love, there's so much harsh judgment that we, especially as women, put on ourselves, and I really love your very generous, joyful energy around this. So it's my pleasure to have you on the air. Now, can you tell me what is the Body Love System and what led you to develop this?
The Body Love System is a 7-step system that I take my clients through. It starts with working in the relationship with the self, because I feel like that's the most important relationship that you can have. You're always with yourself, and once you start learning how to love yourself, it seems like the entire other 6 steps are a whole lot easier. And it actually ends with talking about food, because food is really, or the way that we use food is more of a symptom of what's going on the inside, and that's what I found through personal experience and through working with other people. So this system was developed based off of my own personal experience and what I've seen happening with other people and with clients, to really create a method that will work continuously for people and that will get consistent results every time.
When you talk about how food can be a symptom of what's going on with this, can you say more about that?
Well, so the way that I have seen food being used, or the way that we eat food, especially with like a background in eating disorders and emotional eating, food is often used as a way to kind of convey what's going on the inside. So for me, being anorexic was a way of getting attention. I was using food or the lack of food as a means of seeking attention. Sometimes people will use food to hide. They use food for protection. So it's really just, it's a tool that people use to express their emotions, because we're often not taught how to express our emotions as children or as young adults, or we're taught to not express at all, like when we tell children not to cry because we think it's embarrassing to be at the grocery store with a crying child. We're not taught to express those things, and then it's become a socially acceptable way to use food as intermediate and to use it as a way of expressing ourselves when we feel like we have no other way.
And it sounds like when in your system, as people are working through the Body Love System, food is the last thing on the list. And I love that, because a lot of times when we look at our bodies and go, not satisfied, I'm going to go right to change the food. That's the first thing I'm going to change.
Yeah,
and
that's, I'm sorry.
No. Do a lot of people do that?
Definitely. It's because in our culture, it's like, over 80% of women are on diets. Children who are 8 years old are starting to diet. And we always see food as the be-all, end-all here of weight loss, but we don't think about how our relationships affect food, or where we first learn to use food as a tool for expression or as a means of comfort. So it seems like food is the easiest thing to change, but it's actually a lot easier to change the food that you're eating and to just naturally gravitate towards healthier foods and healthier choices, choices that are more in line with losing weight when we're focused on ourselves and when we cultivate better relationships with other people. And that's why I did the system in that way, where you start with the self and you work with your relationships to other people, you work through your spiritual relationship, and then you end with food. Because once you've done all the other work, it's almost like food just becomes a natural way of life, and it becomes really eating to live instead of living to eat.